that is the last of the legs done before the shoot. Just a little bit of a lower top up. I think I mentioned yesterday, so 2 adductor, 2 on the hamstring curl, 2 on the leg extension, 1 on the leg press, and then 3 calves. So really just a little bit of blood going in. I've got a high day today, so that means I've got an extra 200 grams of carbohydrates, which is going to be very much appreciated because my energy levels are fairly low today. I haven't had too many of these days, to be fair, but yeah, I definitely feel a little bit lower in energy this morning than I have done for a little while. So a nice high day today, extra 200 grams of carbs, and then lots to be getting on with because today is the day before we head back to England. So I've got to make sure all the work is cleared this morning. This afternoon, Lara is off to get her hair done, so I will be watching Louis while that happens. Need to get the roof box on the car, need to get packed, need to try and get as much stuff as possible in that roof box today, because we're going to have an early start tomorrow morning. So we're going to be trying to be on the road for sometime between 7 and half 7. Long old drive up to Calais to go and get the Euro tunnel. It's about, good run, clear run, not stopping, 3.5 hours. It'll probably take us about 4 just because we are going to have to stop. Whether that's to stop for a quick coffee and a wee, but more than anything, it'll probably just be so Louis can stretch his legs and he can run around a little bit, because he'll be getting a little bit cabin fevery being sat in the car, as well we. But we're adults, we can sort of handle it a little bit more. Him, bless him, doesn't fully know what's going on. So probably about 4 hours up to the tunnel. Crossing itself's only about 30-35 minutes, and then it's probably 4 to 5 hours on the other side as well. Just to try and make sure that we're getting there in good time. So we'll probably end up arriving at my mum and dad's at maybe, trying to think what time we normally get there. Depends how early we can get on the Eurostar. If we get up there in good Euro tunnel, if we get up there in good time, we're allowed to get on a slightly earlier crossing. We would probably be in England midday, maybe a little bit earlier, and then hopefully that'll mean that we can get to mum and dad's for 4 o'clock. I'd like to think, because then it's going to be a case of just trying to settle down. Louis will need feeding, he'll want an opportunity to run around a little bit. Lara and I will probably then have to go off and do a little bit of food shopping. I'll then need to do a load of food prep ready for the next day, because we've got another drive of 3 to 4 hours on Friday. I will also need to be up nice and early on the Friday to get gym session in. Thankfully there is a 24-hour access gym near my mum and dad, so I can just get a day pass for that. Get in there at 5 o'clock in the morning, get that out of the way, clear any work that I need to do, and then probably hit the road late morning. Maybe late morning, maybe just after lunch. We'll see how that goes. We'll try and, if we can, time that around when Louis would ordinarily nap. That'd be ideal, because then he can just sleep most of that journey in the car. Then we'll get to the next destination, and then we're there for 2 nights. Friday and Saturday night. Lots of stuff to be getting on with today, but the little lower top-up session there was good. The whole, the point of that really is just to get a bit of blood moving around, just so the food that's then going to go in today just has the opportunity to get shuttled around the body nice and well. So nothing being pushed to absolute failure today. Sort of 1 to 2 reps in reserve, which I'm not a massive fan of reps in reserve. It's not really the way I like to train. I like to just push myself as hard as possible in every session. So I do struggle a little bit to hold myself back, but I did my best to do that. So I didn't absolutely run myself into the ground. But yeah, not a bad little session. Checked in again with Christian as well this morning. So we are now on the dailies. What I'll probably do as part of this, will I do it as part of this video? I'm going to do, like, once I've got like the full photo shoot shots back, and I've hopefully also recorded a little bit of footage from that day, I think the episode after this one will probably be a bit more of almost like a behind the scenes of the shoot style. So I'll try and get a decent bit of footage from like around like the day before and all of that sort of stuff. The day of, I'll try and get a decent bit of footage as well, although that might not be the easiest thing, just because I'm going to be concentrating on being in front of the camera and the photographer's obviously going to be concentrating on taking photographs. But I'll take my little camera, set that up, and if we can get a little bit of behind the scenes, that would be really cool. And that, yeah, as I say, that'll probably be the video after this one. This one's a little bit more of the build up. So I will probably, what I might do at the end is just put, like, so where I'm doing obviously each of these daily check-ins, I might just put each of the daily pictures up at the end, so you can almost see how this week has gone. That might be quite a nice way to just see like where things have changed. And I'll make a little note as well of what changes, if any, have happened to the food and stuff on those days as well. But just putting up back at home. I don't expect anyone to be awake just yet because it's only just gone 6:30 in the morning, and Lara and Louis are both off today. So there we go. I will be back again soon. Good morning. It is 10:05 in the morning. We're just on our way to try and get access to this gym. I just literally had to get up and sign in for a day pass, because as great as it is that you can use the gym 24 hours, you get like single day pass, you can't pick the day. So I wanted to have got that all sorted last night, so that all I needed to do this morning was literally get up and go. Whereas this morning, what I've had to do is get up, get logged in, then it all was going a bit funny on the website. But I have now managed to pay for the guest pass. So I've got the guest pass. I'm on my way to the gym. It's meant to just be accessed via this code. So yeah, I'm very much hoping that it's going to be simple when I get there, because I don't really want to be faffing around at 5 o'clock in the morning. I just want to go in, get the session done that I need to do, which is a push pump session. So Christian sent that over to me. 3 on the pec fly, a couple of chest press, a couple of shoulder press, 3 side delt raises, and then a little bit of an arm superset in there. So yeah, really just an opportunity to get some blood flowing around again. And then another high day of food today. So having done the 10-hour drive yesterday, which was a long old journey, Louis, bless him, was pretty well behaved, all things considered. It's not very nice being strapped into your car seat for that long, like various stops, just to try and let him have a little bit of a legged round. Obviously let us stretch our legs a bit, give us the opportunity to have a coffee and have a wee and eat a bit of food. But yeah, 10 hours, pretty much somewhere between 9.5 and 10 hours yesterday. Got to mum and dad's, nice to have that bit of time with them. Up early this morning, a little bit of work to do, and then we're pretty much straight on the road again. Another 2.5, 3 hours today. But anyway, for the time being, let's get this training session done. Let's very much hope that I can get into the gym, and fingers crossed all is going to go well. Here we go, moment of truth. Where are we? There we go, session done. I'll pop up the training clips whilst I'm waffling on so that you've got something a little bit more exciting than me waffling on. So listen and watch. Yeah, nice little pump session. Actually a really good little pump session. I'll pop up a little video of me posing and a few shots as well, which I am very happy about indeed. I think it's really cool. Like at the moment, just without doubt the leanest I've been. And I know that because things like the veins in my abs are much more prominent, the separation in my delts, like just a lot of detail that I certainly haven't seen before. And that is a combination of things. Naturally, that is being the leanest I've been before, but it's also having a good chunk more muscle than I've had before. And that's also why I think it's so important that you allow enough time to grow. I know I've spoken several times about the fact that it has been 3.5 years since my last photo shoot, and in that 3.5 years I have spent, I would probably say 2.5 of them growing. There have been spells in there where we've pulled body fat back. Obviously the past 4 months have been getting ready for a shoot, but I've probably spent at least 2.5 years of the past 3 intentionally growing, pushing calories up, progressing lifts, basically doing everything possible to add more muscle to my frame. And it shows, the other thing I think people often get really quite het up about is just how much muscle you can add, and there are always going to be exceptions, don't get me wrong, but I would like to think that I train very hard. Like, I don't really know how to hold myself back. I've worked really hard on perfecting execution, but also the intensity. Sometimes when you are pushing really hard, it does mean execution slips slightly, and I personally think that's okay. I think if you're always trying to make every single thing look absolutely perfect, I think you can lose some of the intensity. So I do think you need a balance between the two. And like I say, that means for me, in the last 3.5 years, 2.5 of which spent growing, I might have added 3 or 4 pounds of muscle. And I appreciate to a lot of people that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm 40 years old. I'm not trying to use these things as excuses, by the way. These are just facts about my personal situation. I'm 40 years old. My natural testosterone levels are low, borderline beneath the lowest normal range. There's a lot of factors that could work against me in that regard, but I've still managed to build muscle, and so for anyone who isn't in that situation, if you've got natural testosterone levels that are, even, to be honest, even twice my level, which would still have you in the lower half of normal, you have got the potential to gain more muscle than me. Like, testosterone is a muscle building hormone, so I think just when people expect that they're going to gain 10, 15, 20 pounds of muscle in the space of 6 to 12 months, it's such an unrealistic expectation. And unfortunately, what most people are then doing is set themselves up to fail, because they won't add the 10, 15, 20 pounds of muscle in that 6 to 12 months. And then they'll think that it's impossible, like there's some sort of, the people can do that, and they're just not cut out for it. it just isn't true. Like, for one, you're probably not doing all the right things, and you know, I know that sounds like quite a blunt statement, but very, very commonly you're probably not doing the right things. Either your training isn't set up right, your execution's not right, your intensity's not there, your progress isn't there. More commonly than not, you're simply just not allowing enough time. You know, you're looking at growth bulk phases being 10 to 12 weeks long when you need to be looking at, you know, you're looking at them more like 10 to 12 months or more. That's a big factor. The diet just, again, isn't set up right to allow you to grow in the right way. So you're always fighting a losing battle. There's so many factors that go into it, and you know, you do need everything set up just the right way. But I'm really happy with where things are at. You know, I've certainly had moments during this prep where I've been a little bit like, am I lean enough? Am I big enough? Am I this? Am I that? Those things are all really normal to feel. You know, it's just part of getting into this kind of condition. But I am really happy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it now. I've just got the one session to go tomorrow morning, which is a pull pump session. And then I should be heading to see Christian tomorrow evening for him to have a little look in person. Long drive today to navigate, so let's get after it. Good morning. Gym done. Gym group absolutely filthy it was in there. I'll put a little video up, like embarrassing just how much shite was knocking about in that gym. So on the way home, I need to stop at the petrol station, so I might even take you along for that little ride. I think I need to like go in a bit of a loop because I've come at a funny angle into this car park. But yeah, last session before the shoot, which is pretty weird to say, even though the shoot is on Tuesday. Not training now until just really just getting a little bit pumped up in the gym on the day of the shoot. So yeah, a bit of a weird one. It feels odd. Obviously, it's, you know, it's 15 weeks of work. Let me just get this on. Let me just turn this down. 15 weeks of hard work, and all things must come to an end, as they say. I nearly just drove on the wrong side of the road there because I thought I was in France again. Yeah, so let's get this fuel done and then make our way back. Go and get some breakfast. I think everyone will be probably just about to stir by the time I do get back, with any luck. So I just need to do a little bit of a weird round the houses loop. I wasn't as keen on the pictures today, but I think that's just the lighting in there. It was some of the worst lighting. Well, it really wasn't great, let's say that. Left here, yeah. Lighting was terrible. Lighting was also terrible at the Airbnb, but it was 4:30 in the morning. I was trying to do my shots, trying to take my progress pics before, you know, without waking the whole house up. So yeah, one of those strange ones this morning. Not, as I say, not overly happy with everything, but in the grander scheme of things, I know everything is going well. I know I'm in a really good spot. Like, you know, I saw obviously yesterday's pictures that I was super happy with. Lighting was far better in that gym, which, you know, it does make a huge difference. I mean, even just down to something like the gym I trained at yesterday, it's got, you know, like low ceilings with nice lighting that just, it like makes you look, you know, made me look like tanned, and the shadowing was in the right places. And then stepping into the gym group today, where I was just like, what has happened to me? I look like I don't even train. But we'll go through that. But the weight had dropped this morning. So, you know, from that point of view, obviously things are moving in the right direction, because if they weren't, my weight would have been up. So anyway, just about to get some petrol and then I'll be back again. Well, that was fun and games, because I pulled into the petrol station. Thought all of the pumps were pay at pump, because pretty much all of them are these days. No, the one I was at was pay at kiosk only. He gives me a bit of a shout over. He's waving at me from inside the kiosk. You need to come and pay inside. Go inside. Yeah, because you're driving a French car, it's not, the vehicle registration isn't like allowing you to to pay at the pump, basically. So you need to pay at the kiosk. Okay, cool. But what if I don't know how much fuel I'm putting in? Oh, then you need to go to another pump. Cool. So I had to reverse and go into a different pump. But anyway, fuel is in. I'm on my way back home. Hopefully the rest of the household is awake. But let's go and find out. Let's go and find out and see. Good morning, people. Nice and early one. Been to see Christian. Really cool to go and see him in person. It's always nice to catch up with these people, like especially when you've been working with someone for a long time. So yeah, really cool to go and see him. And actually, I'm really happy I did, because I was starting to get in my own head about, do I look all right? Am I ready? Am I lean enough? Like all of those things that go through your head. The pictures that he's taken, which I will pop up on here. Yeah, I'm definitely ready. So I needed to have that sensible head to just step in and say, mate, you are fucking ready. But yeah, up early, I went to see him. Got to his for 6:30 in the morning, which meant leaving where we've been staying about 5:45. Just on my way back home now. I think the rest of the house is probably going to be awake. I've got a little bit of a bump in food today as well, today, tomorrow are rest days, and then my shoot is on Tuesday. Extra 100 gram of carbs today. Usual situation where I'll check in again with Christian first thing tomorrow morning, and then if any changes need to get made, they will get made at that point. But very happy with where things are at, and like I say, I sort of needed to see him really to go and just get that. I guess in some ways it is that nod of approval. He's very used to seeing lots of physiques, and for him to be like, this is really fucking good. And it's photo shoot as well. I think I'm probably potentially leaner than. I was about to say leaner than you need to be for a photo shoot. Obviously, it depends on what you want to do, and I'm the kind of person that very much wants to push myself as hard as possible in every situation. So, for me, this level of lean, it's the leanest I've ever been, which does make me really excited. Really excited to get in front of that camera. So I'm just going to enjoy this little bit of a journey home. I say enjoy; it's just motorway driving the whole way, but. Enjoy a little bit of this, get some tunes playing, go and get some food in me, and then we've got a busy day. Got to be out of the Airbnb soon-ish, so that means getting everyone showered, sorted, ready, bags all packed, car loaded up, and then we need to be away. A little bit of time spent with Lara's family today before we then drive up to Manchester this evening to go and see my brother, and then we're there for a few days. My shoot is in Manchester on the Tuesday. Whew. Non-stop situations, but yeah, we're all good. The sun is shining for now. Hopefully that's going to last. We'll see. Good morning. That is busy old morning. Up early, trying to get a little bit of work done before Lara and I swapped over, trying to tag team with watching Louis today. I'm working, she's working, my brother's working. My brother's girls are at school and playgroup. Lara's done a little bit of her stuff. She's now watching Louis while I go and get my tan done. And then it might be a case of, I can't remember how we're doing things after that. I can't remember if I'm then getting the opportunity to do some work, or whether she's taking a break for lunch and then I'll do some work I'll then do some work while she's taking a break for lunch. It's all a bit crazy today. Both of us are super busy with lots of stuff to do, but that is just life at the moment. So yeah, on my way to get my tan done. So the next time you see me, I will be looking Oompa Loompa-like. Tan is on. You might not actually be able to see it that well, because I think she said it will continue to develop over like the next 8 hours. So right now it isn't crazy dark. Plus the lighting isn't the best. It's a bit dark and miserable, but yeah, by the time it all develops ready for tomorrow, we shall be all good. Also just sent my check-in to Christian, because he asked if everyone could get them in a day early from, if it's usually a Tuesday, could people get them in on a Monday, just because he's got something on, so just to help him out. So a relatively short check-in for me. Obviously I saw him in person on Sunday morning, so just a little bit of a thank you check-in really for getting me this far. which is always nice to hear as a coach. So yeah, but I think in terms of food today is going to be just the same as yesterday. So a sort of higher rest day. And then tomorrow, in all likelihood, because my shoot is at 10 a.m, what we'll probably just do is almost have like my normal pre-workout meal. And then the shoot itself, because it's a gym-based shoot, will almost form like the workout. So quantities he'll just fire over to me a little bit later on, and then I can get those all prepped and sorted, and we'll be good to go.